It's time for this. Now, after my rip snorter of a 1 minute moan last week at Crystal Palace, it's going to be hard to do a better one than that, really, for the rest of the season. But it has put me in the lead, 7-6.
Right. That won't last long.
Well, so you say. But it is now time for a 1 minute moan. Would you like to go first?
I'll let you go first.
I'll go first. OK.
Yes.
Would you like to start the clock, then?
I will start the clock. Clockmeister, clock me.
Clock me. Right, my first 1 minute moan is about Ollie Murs. Ollie Murs is a man who has 7.8 million followers on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
He also began his tweeting yesterday from Selfridges, right, where he was apparently shopping for some aftershave. Everyone get out of Selfridges now. Gunshots, I'm inside, right? He started a mass panic, right?
Yeah.
People apparently had thought they'd heard gunshots. What in fact they'd heard were lights popping because there had been some kind of weird power surge inside the department store, which had meant that some lights were going out. And so if you hear enough bulbs popping like that, you might think, however, that there was actually more gunshots going on. But really, to start, I mean, is this what we're going to have to be doing now all through Christmas?
God knows.
Running at speed down streets, knocking people over, running into an underground
irresponsible
station.
Thing to do.
Incredible. He then tweets later on, I'm safe and in a hotel with loads of people, so many different stories flying around. I just hope everyone is safe. I mean, the idea that this guy could start a stampede, and he's getting blamed for it. And
you see the cops arrived, the armed cops.
The armed cops
arrived
were there.
in a van, piled out into Oxford Street. People must have been terrified.
Why are you knocking my 1 minute moan? You've just taken my last 10 seconds.
I'm sorry.
I think you should lose by default because of that.
I should.
But that's my 1 minute moan anyway. Ollie Murs, be very, very careful. It's all very well everybody thinking because they've got a Twitter account that they can be reporters on the scene.
Yes.
But you're effectively putting out,
misinformation.
Well, you're putting out also to 7.8 million people. The news.
Well,
and you've got to be responsible.
You're putting out the non-news. You're putting out a lie.
What I'm saying is you've got to be responsible.
Exactly, I agree.
Before you start sending out those kinds of tweets. Please, it is very, very, very irresponsible and ridiculous.
Okay.
Now,
not a bad 1 minute moan, but mine's better.
Well, we'll see about that. Can we please have the clock?
Right, I want to hunt down a scumbag moron, a piece of vermin, a piece of filth, right, who has allowed his dog to walk close to the entrance to talkSPORT Towers, and the dog has messed on the pavement.
Really?
It is utterly disgusting, and I'm going to get this guy.
Well, you told me that when you came in. I went out to get a coffee and I didn't see anything. It's already been cleaned up.
It has not been cleaned up.
That's the end of your moan.
It has not been cleaned up. It is there. I checked that before I came onto the 1 minute moan show.
You haven't been back outside.
Now, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. I am seriously thinking of leaving the talkSPORT Tower studios at the end of this show.
Yes.
I'm going straight to the nearest police station, which I believe is somewhere in Bermondsey or somewhere like that.
It won't be open.
And I'm going to say that you can't do this. It is an offence to allow your dog to leave deposits on the pavement. It's disgusting, and I hate it. A blind person walking down would have a terrible problem with this.
Well, they'd have a dog, though, wouldn't they?
No, they might have a white stick. They might have a white stick.
No, they'd have a dog.
No. And let me tell you this. If a little children were to step in it, which they could, it can be deadly. It can be deadly. No, that is the 1 minute moan of substance and quality, because I'm thinking only of our society.
You're going over the limit now. So you've just overstepped the mark and overstepped into mine as well. Now, the 1 minute moan ruling committee behind the glass may or may not give you some kind of punishment for overshooting the mark.
Yes.
But we will find out coming up in a little while precisely who has won the 1 minute moan.
Can I just say something?
Yeah, go
on. On one of our internal monitors,
television screens,
I'm witnessing Ozzy Ardiles being interviewed by John Motson.
Yes.
This is ahead, of course, of Spurs game this afternoon.
Indeed, live from Wembley.
Yes. Can I just tell you that yesterday...
We were there yesterday with
I dined with Mr. Ozzy Ardiles.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
What did you have to eat?
I had steak and...
So you've got to be very, very, shall we say, proud of the way that you cook if you're going to serve steak to an Argentinian.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Yeah, I've had steaks in Argentina.
It is their national dish.
You're absolutely right. But Ozzy's delightful company. He really was. He was a great guy. Told a couple of stories, about his days at Spurs and winning the World Cup and all that kind of stuff. Amazing guy. To think that you're sitting there in the room and just a couple of seats away from you on your table is a World Cup winner.
Yes.
And a man of great credibility.
Indeed. SK, Sam, has sent a tweet in. He says, why didn't Porky mention he'd flown helicopters to this guy? Well, believe it or not, Sam, he actually did.
Yeah.
He actually told him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I took a helicopter out once. And the guy was looking so incredulous at you because he clearly knows...
That's absolutely true.
Well, no, because what you did was you sat in a helicopter which was being flown by somebody else.
Well, I
very
piloted
obvious.
it. I piloted it. He gave me the joystick.
No, it's very obvious from the way that you've told that story ad infinitum that you were not piloting the helicopter.
I certainly was.
That he was piloting it, and he might have let you. It's akin to letting somebody hold the steering wheel while they're in charge of the controls.
Rubbish. Now then, I want to also mention Julia and Ian again. They're travelling up to Anfield. Well, each to their own, but they've got their little lad Lennon in the car.
Yeah.
And I did not mention he was there.
Okay.
So Lennon, this is a shout out for you, my boy. I hope you have a lovely day. Can't wish you the best of luck in your football match because, of course, I'm an Evertonian. But I hope you have a day to remember whatever happens.
Yes. How about this from Paul, who says, I have to admit, Porky's programme last night was a bit dull. His ramblings reminded me of a 6-hour speech by Castro at the UN, where most of the delegates nodded off.
That is a really meaningless and pathetic observation of a show which was widely applauded when it went out. I can tell you that. Widely applauded.
Yeah, Dave says, imagine that, MG, the plank telling a story with no facts in it. Which I think was referring back to the helicopter story.
Yeah, but no, not at all. Now then, let me tell you this. I'm a member of the Football Writers Association.
Why?
Okay? Well, because I have achieved high status among sports journalism.
Writer.
What do you mean?
You've never been a football writer.
That'd be ridiculous.
When were you a football writer?
For goodness sake, man, I was the Director of Communications of the Football Association, which organises football worldwide.
That's not a journalist's job.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry.
That's not a football writer's job.
I was head of sport at the National News Agency of the Press Association.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was.
No.
I was head of everything, so that includes sport.
You were head of everything?
Yes.
What a complete
No.
That's also not a football writer's job.
No, let me tell you this.
You've never been a football writer.
Let me tell you this.
You should resign immediately.
The Football Writers Association announced just this morning that...
that was one of the most boring radio shows I've ever heard.
No, at our annual January dinner, January 21, the star guest will be no other than Pelé.
Pelé? Oh, yes, I saw that earlier.
Yeah, I know. Fantastic,
Is he going to bring some tablets with him?
What do you mean?
You don't know that story?
I don't want to know that story. Okay. I'm sorry. You have to honestly, you pour cold water on everything, don't you?
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing that Pelé is coming all the way from Brazil to talk to the British Football Writers Association?
Well, it's a bit late, isn't it?
It's not a bit late at all. It's a fantastic tribute and honour.
When he was a bit younger.
He's never done it before because he just doesn't do these things. I think it's the sheer, dynamism of what we organise that's got him going.
Don't invite me.
Oh, you won't be invited.
Thank you.
You can bet your life you won't be invited.
Thank God for that. I'll be washing my hair.
On DAB Digital Radio and 1089 and 1053 AM. The warm-up with the two mics on talkSPORT.
How about this from Paul? He says, it does occur to me that Porky models himself on either Castro, Trotsky or Lenin.
No,
they all saw themselves as great orators, though Trotsky was a fine speaker.
No, I don't.
He says, does Porky hope to be embalmed like Lenin?
No, I don't. And I can't stand dictatorships and dictators. They wreck the world. Okay?
Indeed. Tony says, please give us a shout-out, fellas. I'm stuck in painting and missing the match.
Right.
Cheers for keeping me entertained.
Yes. OK, that's
a pleasure. Now, we still haven't found out what the 1-minute moan result is, so we need to know that,
we need to know right now.
The winner was apparently by unanimous decision.
Utter rubbish. The winner was Mike Gray. Utter rubbish. You people don't know anything about public health. You don't know anything about the streets of Britain.
Yeah.
You're a disgrace for not getting behind me. It's not.
It's already been cleaned up.
It's a damned outrage and a disgrace.
It's been cleaned up already. Steve says this. Yeah. I'm part of the Football Writers Association. Is there anything Porky is not associated with?
On DAB Digital Radio and 1089 and 1053 AM. The warm-up with the two mics on talkSPORT.